just let the outcome speak. Every calculation already done. Before the room even knew I was one of the options on the table there. I was the only option anywhere. Ice, ice, ice on the wrist, but the mind runs hot. Everything they thought they had on me, they got wrong. Every single angle miscalculated. Every move I made was years ago dated. Trap in the pocket, smoke in the chest. Nobody passes my minimum test without already knowing where this ends. It ends with me, it always ends with me. 808 under everything I say. Every room I walk into, I already own the day. Hi-hat, rolling, snare, hits cold and clean. It's the kind of way they feel before it's seen. Tighter on the road when the moment aligns. Every trap beat pockets is between the lines of what they hear and what they actually feel. That gap right there is where I make it real. Ran the system cold, no emotion in the frame. Every output verified before I sign my name. Patient in the setup, surgical in the hit. Built the whole architecture and I quietly lit the fuse. Long before they saw the flame, long before. Every compound layer of the trap is a deliberate construction running beneath the surface of what looks effortless from any external angle. Effortless, that's the point. Right there, that's the foundation. Everything above it is pure calculation. Cold at the top, heavy cut the base. Everything I built was built into that pace. Still cold. Still spill. Slowest in the verse, fastest in the hat. That contrast is the whole thing, and that's that. Every trap beat lives in the space between the slow body and the fast machine. Slow body, fast machine. That's me. Calculate every move before the move was visible. Build every structure cold and came back twice as unmovable. Unmovable. Still moving at my own pace through every system, every room, every view that they constructed to contain the output. Contain nothing. 808 under everything I say. Every room I walk into, I already own the day. Hi-hat, rolling, snare, hits cold and clean. This the kind of way they feel before seen. Dang, dang. It's simple, running underneath the low end. Every phone frequency signals out of road bends. In the dark territory into something cold. Everything I carry here is heavier than told. Memphis in the sample, trap in the bones. With the whole operation from the darkest tones. Every distorted loop was a foundation stone. Everything I built out here I built alone. Hypnotic in the method, dark in the approach. Every phone element was something to encroach upon the obvious, upon the clean design. Running the distorted signal on a different line.
Running through the system, dark and low.
Every distorted frequency
puts on a show. 808 slide, sample loops.
Everything I built here runs on darker goals.
Can't escape the frequency once it locks in. Every phonk loop pulls you deeper in. Hypnotic in the pocket, dark in the chest.
Everything I built here passed the different tests. In the sample, darker in the loop. Every phone frequency pulls the whole group. In the territory nobody planned to reach. Every distorted element within my speech was a calculated move, a deliberate choice. Every phone loop amplifies the voice underneath the obvious, underneath the frame. Everything I do here never sounds the same. Twice that's the method, that's the whole design. Every method sample running on a different line. And everything they built to be the standard here. Every dark phone frequency makes the path clear. Clear, 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 clear.
Stand back, darker than the entry point. Every phone frequency hit
a distorted frequency.
Puts on the show, 808 slides, sample loops, hi-hat rolls.
Everything I built here runs on darker goals.
And escape the frequency once it locks in. Every phone loop pulls you deeper in. Hypnotic in the pocket, dark in the chest.
Everything I built here passed the different test.
AC on the track, yo, came in cold, but the energy's electric. Every move I make is surgical and specific. Nobody predicted the angle that I'm hitting from. They're watching the door, I'm already where they getting from. Run it up, never looking at the rear. Everything I built this year wasn't built on fear. Locked in on the vision while the outside gets loud. Quietest one in the room, still the one that owns the crowd. Stacking methodical, execute precise. Never play the same game twice. Every room I enter has a different set of rules. I learned them all and came back with the better tools. Run it up, can't stop what's already in motion. Everything I pour into this deeper than an ocean. 808 hits low, hi-hat rolls high. Built this from the bottom, watch it touch the sky. Running up the ceiling, never bother me. Every closed door opened up another possibility. Feel the rhythm in it, that's the whole point. Everything connects, every single joint. Sharper on the second pass, cleaner on the third. Every calculation verified before I said a word. Move when nobody was watching, that's the method. Everything I thought was settled, I unsettled. Running numbers backwards, found the hidden lane. Every season that was cold, only sharpened the grain. But the architecture slow, arrived at full speed. Planted every strategy like a well-designed seed. Double down when every sign said fold. Turned the whole narrative before it could be told. The way they planned it, flipped the entire script. Every advantage that they held, I quietly stripped. Every bar I land on, kiss the whole thing running. Precise on the entry, clean on the redirect. Nothing in my operation running unchecked. Top of the grid, footing fully locked. Every entrance that they sealed, quietly unlocked. Ran it through the system, verified, confirmed. Every single outcome was a lesson that I earned. Can't contain what's already been released. Every compound that will build the thing. From least to most to maximum. To past the point they thought was possible. That's the whole joint. Running up, can't stop what's already in motion. Everything I pour into this deeper than an ocean. 808 hits low, hi-hat rolls high. Built this from the bottom, watch it touch the sky. Running up the ceiling, never bother me. Every closed door opened up another possibility. Feel the rhythm in it, that's the whole point. Everything connects, every single joint. Came up, hey. Came up from the bottom where the options were few. Every move I made had a price attached to it too. Wasn't handing nothing, had to figure it out. Every lesson that I learned came from seasons of doubt. Stay low in the trenches when the pressure was on. Every man around me either folded or gone. Kept the circle tight, couldn't trust the outside. Everything I built was built from the inside. Streets taught me patience long before the money came. Every cold November felt exactly the same. Watching every angle, never slipping on the floor. Every door that closed on me, I found another door. Came from nothing, still I'm standing here today. Every take my place, built it from the ground up. Couldn't lose the race, trap made me everything I am right now. Went through every storm and still I don't know how. Still standing, still moving, still locked in. Everything I lost just made me try again. Never let them see you sweat, that was ruin. Every move you make, I hit under the sun. Or the moon, didn't matter, had to stay on the grind. Left a weak version of myself so far behind. Counted every blessing when the blessing was small. Knew the bigger picture long before the call came through, stay ready, never caught off guard. Everything worth having out here, everything is hard. Loyal to the ones who were there in the drought. Every foul weather presence, I weeded them out. Kept the energy clean, kept the circle compressed. Gave my everything and never gave them the rest. Yeah. Look back at the road, and it was longer than I thought. Every single thing I had was something that I bought. With time, with sacrifice, with years nobody saw. Everything I built out here was built outside the law. Was average, outside the expected, outside the plan they had for someone like me. I became my own man, mapped the whole terrain. Before I made a sound, came up from the underground and never looked around for validation. Never needed the applause. Everything I'm standing on was built without a pause. In the work, in the grind, in the long game vision, every outcome that I wanted was calculated. This came from nothing, still I'm standing here today. Every sacrifice I made along the way, nobody gave me nothing. Nobody had to take my place, built it from the ground up. Couldn't lose the race, trap made me everything I am right now. Went through every storm, and still I don't know how. Still standing, still moving, still locked in. Everything I lost just made me try again. Silence. Locked in, system running, no override. Every angle of the operation verified. Before the room even knew I was in the building. Everything I'm constructing keeps on building. Sharp on the entry, EDM energy rising. Nothing but the way I move is surprising. Anyone who study what I put in the ground, every frequency I own creates a different sound. Run it up, the grid is fully operational. Every move I make is sharp and proportional to the optical in front, calculated clean. Most dangerous setups are the ones that go unseen. Build it up, feel the tension in the air. Every synth core rising, getting everywhere. Fade away hits, trap, snare, crack, hi-hat rolls hard. Everything released, nothing left on guard. Feel the whole room shift when the bass comes through. This is what it sounds like. Back in the pocket at the big explosion. Every calculated move, such a good precision. Ran a system code through the festival heat. Everything I built lives underneath the beat. Hybrid in the method, trap in the bones. EDM in the frequency, build it on my own terms, my own timeline, my own grid. Everything I promised, everything I did. Stack it, launch it, feel the energy release. Every compound, structure finding its increase. Pattern in the pressure, EDM and trap. Everything I built can't take it back. Back, 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 back. Take it back. harder than an entry point. Every high frequency hits every joint. Now the architecture, DDM and trap combined, running both systems at the exact same time. Two genres, locked in one relentless frame. Everything accelerating, nothing stays the same. Top of the grid, feeling fully gone, but the whole thing to keep on going long. After the drop, after the release, every compound layer adding to the piece. Nothing about this operation running slow. Everything I built, watch it go. Build it up, feel the tension in the air. Every synth chord rising, getting everywhere. 808 hits, trap, snare, crack, hi-hat rolls hard. Everything released, nothing left on guard. Feel the whole room shift when the bass comes through. This is what it sounds like. Yo for me and yo, 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 yo. Didn't start on a one, never do. Every entry point I choose comes sideways through the expectation through the clean arrival gate. I show up off beat, always running late to the crib, but right on time to the pocket. Every twist of time in was the key to unlock it. The deeper layer, the infectious groove. Off beat entry, that's a signature move. Phonk hi-hat stutters where you never place it. Every unexpected rhythm I embrace it fully, completely with no hesitation. Every quicker time in was the right location. Stutter in the pocket, stutter in the flow. Every hi-hat placement somewhere you don't know to look until it hits and then it locks. Every offbeat phone hit ticks like clocks, running in a different time zone. All together, everything I build here holds in any weather because the crooked pocket never breaks. That's the only foundation worth the stakes.
Late to the one, right on time to the groove. Every studded hi-hat justifies the move. Sample running crooked, 8 slides wide. Everything infectious live just on the offside. Can't unhear it once the pocket locks in place. Every offbeat landing leaves a different trace. Phonk stutter, twisted, warped and wide. This is what it sounds like running on the offside.
Compounded, 3 offbeats running at once now. Every twisted landing, think about because the pocket held through all of it. Every unexpected hi-hat was a perfect fit.
Back on a crooked line that I call home. Every phone frequency I ever known. Lies between the beats, not on them. Every offbeat pocket is the stem.
The root, the core is the foundation stone. Everything I built here, built alone. On the offside, on the crooked grid. That's exactly what I always did.
Walk back in after the chaos settled. Every irregular pattern tested my metal, and I held to the formless, through the noise. Every crooked pocket was a deliberate choice.
Jump on that Charlie needle, la 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 all the way. Jump on that Charlie needle, la 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 all the way. Jump on that Charlie needle, la 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 all the way. Jump on that Charlie needle. 808 melody running, pulling me in. Every offbeat, notice where the real thing begins. Quicker than the pocket, twisted in the frame. Everything I build here never sounds the same. Infectious in the method, chaotic in the feel. Every irregular placement make the whole thing real. Nothing predictable, nothing on the one. Everything I built lands after it's done. In the head, that's the whole game. Offbeat phone running always the same direction. Sideways, still to expect the gate. I show up to the pocket, always running late.
Everything offbeat, everything crooked, every folk melody hitting where you never expected and always sideways, always. Late to the one, right on time to the groove. Every studded hi-hat justifies the move. Sample running crooked, 8 slides wide. Everything infectious lies just on the offside. Can't unhear it once the pocket locks in place. Every offbeat landing leaves a different trace. Phonk stutter, twisted, warped and wide. This is what it sounds like running on the offside.
Phonk. Export it back with double the velocity. Every rapid chop hit with ferocity. Never slow version, never could deliver. Every chop frequency make the whole thing shiver, 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 straight, the contrast is the point. Every rapper shift hints every joint of the system, faster and faster. Everything I build here runs past disaster. It's a territory nobody mapped before. Every rapper chop open another door. Top of the velocity, nothing holding back. Everything I do lives on a rapid track. Shot up in advance, shot up and go. Every rapper pocket has a different flow than the last, than the expected, than the clean. Most infectious flow you've ever seen. Chop it up, feel the rapid fire hit. Every chop frequency is a perfect fit. 808 punches between every slice. Everything rapid, everything precise. Can't slow it down, the chop keeps going. Every rapid pocket keeps the whole thing flowing. Sideways through the frame, pass through the gap. Rapid folk running, put it on the map. Dark melody. Dark melody. Dark melody running underneath the words. Every man I know hitting something that disturbs the comfortable, the expected, the clean line, that haunting frequency entirely mine. Follow the melody into the pocket deep. Every minor chord was something I keep long after the obvious it cleared the room. Every dark note carrying a different kind of bloom. Melodic in the method, minor in the key. Every haunting frequency setting something free. Inside the architecture, inside the cold frame. Everything I build here never sounds the same. The melody right there between my words. Every minor note says what can be heard. In the lyrics, in the bars, in the flow. The melody carries what the rap can't show. Dark melody, that's the thing that pulls you in. Every minor note is where it all begins. 808 slides with the melody line. Everything I build here, everything is mine. Can't escape the minor key once it locks. Every haunting frequency opens different locks inside you. That's the whole design. Dark melody running, everything is fine. Darker on the second chorus, minor goes deep. Every descending note was something I keep in the arsenal. In the cold design, everything melodic running on a different line. Find the pocket where the melody lives. That's the space where the real funk gives. Everything it has, the dark, the minor, the low. Everything melodic, that's the way to go. Ran the melody cold through the funk frame. Every haunting note arriving just the same way. Sideways through the expected gate. Dark melody, never running late. Dark melody. Dark melody. Return darker, felt it in the chest. Every minor note passed a different test than the bright version never could have done. Dark melody, that's the only one. Reversed and came back, holding in the frame. Every frequency never sounds the same. Twice, but always minor, always dark. Every melodic funk hit leaves a mark. Flow, almost song, that's the fine line between the rap and melody. That's mine, to walk, to ride, to balance on the edge. Every minor note, another haunting ledge. Melodic at the maximum, dark at the peak. Every haunted frequency is what I seek. In the pocket, in the cold design. Dark melody, running everything aligned. Dark melody, carrying what I can say. Every minor note showing me the way. That's the whole thing. Dark minor, real dark melody. That's the thing that pulls you in. Every minor note is where it all begins. 808 slides with the melody line. Everything I build here, everything is mine. Can't escape the minor key once it locks. Every haunting frequency opens different locks inside you. That's the check before I made a sound. 3 moves calculated before I left the ground. Nobody in this room has seen the version that I'm running. They're still reading the setup, I'm already at the conclusion. Walked the whole perimeter before I took a seat. Mapped every exit while they were finding the beat code and the approaching coda in the execution. Everything they called a problem was already my solution. Patience as a weapon hits at the right time. Every bar I write was finished 3 bars behind. Where they think I am, that's the whole design. Running the entire operation on a different line. 808 underneath, that's the only truth. Everything I built was built without a roof. Open at the top, no ceiling on the climb. Every trap I set was set a year before the time. Tied it on the red when the margin compresses. Every system that I hit until it confesses. Every weak point in the frame, I already know them. I don't announce the entry, I just show them. Double the output when the outside got loud. Strip the operation back and move through the crowd without a single signal, no announcement in the step. Everything I carry runs beneath the intercept pattern. And the pressure learned it before they taught it. Every shortcut that they offered, I already bought it. Evaluated return and built a longer route. Took the whole thing apart just to figure the doubt out. That low end right there, that's the foundation speaking. Everything above it is the part they keep seeking, but never find because they're looking at the surface. Everything I do runs 3 layers below the purpose. Slow in the body, fast in the mind. Everything about my method runs behind the visible, the obvious, the surface of the thing. Trap in the pocket, that's the only sound I bring. Every closed door was a sharpening surface. Every dismissed angle had a secondary purpose. Built the infrastructure coding, came back twice. Everything they handed me I returned at a price they didn't expect. That's the signature. Every move I make is the move of something bigger than whatever they prepared for. That's the gap I live in. Everything I took was everything they were giving away without knowing what it cost. Nothing in my catalog was ever lost. Calculated every variable before the room shifted. Everything they thought was sealed, I quietly lifted. 808 underneath, that's the only truth. Everything I built was built without a roof. Open at the top, no ceiling on the climb. Every trap I set was set a year before the time. The snap, calculated, but the time it looks wrong. That's the point, that's what carries the song. Past the obvious, past the clean line. Everything I do lands just behind. Twisted in the pocket, that's a signature. Every phone hi-hat hit somewhere sinister than expected. That's the whole design. Offbeat is the only thing that's mine. Can't predict it, that's what makes it hit. Every offbeat line is a perfect fit. Sample sideways, 808 bends low. Phonk running twisted, watch the whole thing go. Why the gap don't fit the off-grid feel. Everything that's quicker than the speed is real. Hi-hats, stutter, simple warps and spins. That's exactly where this whole thing begins. Back to the offbeats, 3 deep now. Every landing place you'd never allow. If you were playing by the standard rule, offbeat is the sharpest available tool. Back on the grid, but the grid is bent. Every phone frequency I already spent. Time off the expected line. That twisted pocket, that's entirely mine. Ran the sample backward through the loop. Every offbeat landed tighten. Got the group of frequencies all twisted. Almost through everything I build lands somewhere off of. still in here. Something shifting under it. Yeah. They reply, clock that. Don't act like you ain't ready. You edit every sentence, but your silence already said it. Your tone don't match your posture. I can see the offset. Every step you take toward me, got a trace of caution left. You don't leave, you hover. That's a different kind of move. Keep it right before the edge, never letting it conclude. Don't stop, now stay in motion. Don't mess with you controlling. We both feel where it's going. Just don't break the moment, hold it right there. Don't push too far. We don't need a name, what we are. No deep talk, no overplay. Just let it build and drift this way. Stay that close, but shift it slow. You don't say it, but it shows. No rewind, no control. Just ride it till it overflows. Yeah. Reflection in the glass, don't match how you present it. You smooth it out in public, but in private it's different. Hands almost connecting, then you pull it back again. That tension got a presence, you don't even need to pretend. Every second stretched thin, like it might collapse, but we leaning in the pressure. We ain't pulling back, don't freeze up, just hold it. Don't think, just control it. We locked in, don't fold it, keep it in rotation. Hold it right there. Don't push too far. We don't need a name, what we are. No deep talk, no overplay. Just let it build and drift this way. Stay that close, shift it slow. You don't say it, but it shows. No rewind, no control. Just ride it till it overflows. Half step in, then pause again, like you testing where it ends. We don't need a reason now, just don't try to make amends. No rules, just timing, no truth, just aligning. No end, we defining, just now we designing. Drop low, hold still, no words, just feel. No space, no air, just this right here. Hold it right there. Don't slow it down, we already off the ground. No clean lines, no perfect view, just what we fell into. Don't fix it, just let it hit. Fade out with it.静かに落ちる視線の裏言葉はまだ形にならない、遅い反応それでいい、焦る価値もここにはない。冷たいまま温度は上がる、見えない圧じわりと伝わる。隙間で揺れるわずかな気配、座れない距離それが正解。踏み込む前に引くその癖でも視線だけそらせてないね。崩さない、まだそうはならない。そのライン越えないで揺らす、酔わなくていいもわかる。このまま崩れる直前、そのままデッドマーライで触れそうで触れない距離で余計な言葉いらないで、今だけで十分だって流れるまま逆らわないで、この温度冷める前に形にする必要もない。ただ続けばそれでいい。映る姿嘘はない、整えた顔意味はない。崩れる前の均衡で一番リアルが見えてくる。踏み出す寸前止めるブレーキでもその鼓動隠せてないし、余白の中で膨らむサイン、沈黙の方が深く刺さる。急がないでも遅くない、このズレ心地よく揺らす、触れないまま近づいて境界曖昧になる。そのままで止まらないで触れそうで触れない距離で余計な言葉いらないで、今だけで十分だって流れるまま逆らわないで、この温度冷める前に形にする必要もない。ただ続けばそれでいい。半歩だけ踏み込んで戻れないラインまで、でも壊さないままでギリギリで保って落ちる音もなく触れる寸前で止まるその意味まだ壊さない。 そのままで終わらないでこの距離崩さないで何も決めなくて今だけで満たして静かに消える余韻の中触れないまま残していく
Came in when nobody was looking. Every angle of the system already cooking. 3 steps before the room caught the signal. Everything I run here stays subliminal. Trap in the bones, funk in the texture. Every dark frequency was part of the lecture. Cold on the approach, precise on the exit. Nothing in the margin left approximate. Read the whole terrain before the first move. Let the operation into the deepest groove. Nobody caught the setup, that's by design. Everything invisible, everything mine. I stutter in the simple, that's the tale. Every twisted frequency rings a different bell than the expected. Then the obvious hit funk underneath the trap. That's exactly it. This is exactly it. The synth rising underneath the low end. Every frequency building toward the roads bend. Trap still hitting, funk still twisted. EDM climbing, everything converging. Everything timing into the same moment, same point, same drop. 3 genres locked, nothing going to stop. The collision feeling building in the chest. This is where the 3 become the best. This is where the 3 become the best.
Drop hits different when it's 3 lanes wide. Trap underneath, EDM on the rise. Funk on the side. It always slide into
everything colliding into something new.
Can't play the genre, that's the whole point. Every frequency hitting every joint.
From a different angle, different direction. Everything locked into one perfect intersection. Tighter on the grid when the synth pulls beneath. Every trap bar cutting like a sharpened sheath. Through the EDM texture, through the funk loop. Everything running clean through the same hoop. Funk, stuttering on the offbeat pocket. Every EDM synth chord like a stage 5 rocket. Launching underneath what sounds like trap. 3 genres running, nothing going back. Double the output when the frequencies merged. Every compound layer when the 3 conversion. The one that's the architecture here. 3 genres, 1 pocket, crystal clear. Sharp on the trap, dark on the funk. Every EDM synth chord hits like a comp. But the system wakes the whole thing up. 3 genres in a single cup.
Free back in harder than an entry. Every genre locked, no genre is entry. Over the others, equal merge combined. Running 3 systems on the exact same line. Trap hi-hat rolling, phone sample chopping. EDM synth swelling, nothing ever stopping. The compound momentum, the triple lock. Every frequency opening, every block.
It's an intersection. Every genre choice with the right selection. Merge, combine, collided, locked. Every door that was shut quietly unlocked. Trap home, everything rigid, everything colliding. Every frequency locked into one perfect intersection. Top of the triple lock, nothing holding back. Everything I build lives on this exact track.
Drop hits different when it's 3 lanes wide. Trap underneath, EDM on the rise. Funk on the side. It always slide into
Everything colliding into something new.
Can't play the genre, that's the whole point. Every frequency hitting every joint.
From a different angle, different direction. Everything locked into one perfect intersection. That closed on me became a wall I learned. Every wall I learned became I'm the thing I quietly earned, the right to pass through, not by force, by understanding grain. The pressure that I carry turned to mortar in the rain. Move before the signal, read the room before we filled. Every soft ambition in my path I quietly stilled. Not from fear, from patience, from the long game view. The version built on silence was the only one that's true. The word that no witness was the word that held every compound. Double was a story never told. Rules don't grow, and poly rules grow in the dark. The deeper that they run, the harder to read the marks. Selfishness beneath the surface of the obvious frame. 3 moves into the future, already in the game. Not to win the argument, to outlast and know the most deliberate thing I own is the patience in my voice. Deep in the pocket, heavy on the low. Every silent hour built the undertow. 808, carrying what the words can't say. The only lane I run is the one that doesn't fade. With the calculation when the room was loud, every crooked angle cut straight through the crowd. Of the obvious, of the expected, of the clean design. The gap between the beats was always mine. Sharp at the approach, deliberate in the frame. Every door that tested me came back the same way. As lesson is the sharpened edge. Every stumble was the step before the ledge. Became the view, became the whole terrain. Everything I lost came back as something gained. Not informant, function in the permanent build. The architecture of a man to refuse to yield. Everything compiles from the invisible base. Every patient you're arriving at its rightful place. Pressure through the blueprint, silence poured the floor. The version standing here is what the patience was for. Just the way, just the low, just the low, just the low. Everything reduced to what I know. Alone was enough to say everything the loud parts couldn't carry anyway. Weight needs no announcement, death needs no defense. The most convincing thing I own is the evidence, not the argument, not the raised voice, not the claim. Every proof I built was built inside the frame of the invisible, of the compound of the slow. The loudest thing about me is the undertow. The lane I run has no existing name or map. Every truth I carry lives inside the gap between the beat and where the obvious would land. Everything I am was architect and plan, from the bottom of the frequency to where the ceiling bends. The patient work begins exactly where the loud work ends. The quiet is the language of the thing that lasts. Everything assembled from the wreckage of the past. Not in grief and structure, in the cold design. The deepest roots were always mine. Deep in the pocket, heavy on the low. Every silent hour built the undertow. 808, carrying what the words can't say. The only lane I run is the one that doesn't fade. Coming. Came in quiet on the 2, not the 1. Every room I ended already won. Before the door swung open, before the first word. This move I made was the one nobody heard. Trapped in the pocket, fold between the cracks. Every calculation running off the tracks. So the obvious, but the clean line. The offbeat is the only good that's mine. But the patience built the frame. Every season that I lost came back the same. Weight as fuel, as forward as a drive. Off the beat, right on time, still alive. Nothing loud about the roots that hold the ground. The deepest things were built without a sound. Every compound, silence was the trade that turned the hollow hours into what I made.
Feel it on the end, rising from below. 3 elements converging, building slow. Not to announce, not to flood the room. The offbeat pocket opening like a bloom.
3 lanes,
1 pocket off the 1.
every collision
Finish before it's begun.
808 low.
Synth breath, sample dark.
Every offbeat entire. Every cold frequency carrying its fire. It's always through the gate, never straight ahead. Built a whole direction from the things they said. Couldn't be done, couldn't hold the weight. Turns out the offbeat was the only gate that opened to the depth they couldn't measure. Every crooked timing was a buried treasure. Shot between the 2 and 3, that's the scene. Got between the 4 and 1, that's the dream. Running through the gap that nobody claimed. Everything I built hit precisely bang, bang, bang. Everything accelerates from off the grid, compounding every patient thing I did. In the invisible, in the formless space, every offbeat living finds its rightful place. Pressure for the angle built the door. Every frequency I own has been here before. In a different form, a different frame, a different key. 3 genres like one pocket running free.
That's the root, that's the grain, that's the thing that held through every strain.
Just the
Just the grain,
back on the end, the strict version proved the point. Every silence in the structure was a joint. The hell the architecture when the loud parts fell. The root is what remains, the root is what I sell. Not for currency, for permanence, for proof. Every upbeat landing needs another truth. Laid beneath the obvious, beneath the clean. The most important work is always the unseen. 3 textures, 1 intention, 1 direction. Every genre choice was the right selection. Merge, not layer, fuse, not placed beside. Everything I am exists inside the ride of the offbeat, of the gap, of the end. Everything I built was built exactly as planned. From the bottom of the frequency to the top, offbeat, pocket running, never going to stop.
Quiet holds the weight, the loud cannot. Every compound patience, every earned thought became the structure standing in the light. The offbeat was the answer, not the fight. One pocket off the one.
Every collision,
Finish before it's begun.
808 lows.
Breath, sample dark.
Every offbeat landing leaves a permanent mark. No doubt, no doubt. Announcement, no doubt. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah. Move before the room, caught the signal. Every calculator step runs subliminal beneath the obvious, beneath the frame. 3 moves deep before they learn my name. Never on the one, always sideways through. Every entry point I choose comes brand new code on the approach. Clean on the exit, nothing in the margin left approximate. Read the whole terrain before the first move. Lock the operation into the deepest groove. Nobody clocked the setup, that's by design. Everything invisible, everything mine. Silent in the method, loud in the result. Every quiet hour was the difficult part. Nobody films, nobody documents. Everything I built runs on dark presence. Dark and cold, that's the only move. 808 carrying everything through the groove. Hi-hat rolling, snare hitting clean. Most dangerous thing you've never seen. Came from nowhere, built it into everything. Every silent preparation meant something. Can't contain what's already been released. Everything I built running from the least to most to maximum, to past the point they thought would never last. Tied it on the red, coded on the turn. Every setback was another thing to earn. Flip the whole narrative before they wrote the end. Every closed door became another thing to bend. Into fuel, into forward, into done. Everything I touch runs under the same sun. They're standing under just a different view. 808 melody carrying something true. Run the system code, no noise in the frame. Every output verify before I sign my name. Patient in the setup, surgical in the hip, but the whole thing cold. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. That melody right there, that's the whole thing. Every dark note carrying what the bars bring. Beneath the surface, beneath the obvious line. Everything mine, maximum velocity, nothing holding back. Everything I own lives on this exact track. Precise on the landing, locked on the step. Nothing about this operation running on debt. Every angle of the system understood. Every solid move did exactly what this should. Built while they debated, moved while they planned. Everything I carry built by my own hand. Cold in the method, sharp in the frame. Every dark frequency hits exactly the same. Nerve every time, deep and low. Nothing about this tempo needs to go anywhere fast. The code of the reppin'. Every precise hi-hat hit was the lesson I gave myself before the room caught on. Everything I build here built to carry on. carry on, no, 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 no. Built to carry on, no, 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 no. Built to carry on. Slam bag in with everything in drag. Every pressure obstacle pushed me for the bag. Into something sharper, something more refined. Everything I built was always by design. 3 moves ahead, but they think I'm at 1. Calculated everything before the work was done. Sharp on the enter code on the out. No announcement, no doubt, doubt, doubt. Dark and cold, that's the only move. Hit away, carrying everything through the groove. Hi-hat, rolling, snare hitting clean. Most dangerous thing you never seen. Came from nowhere, built it into everything. Every silent preparation meant something. Can't contain what's already been released. Everything I built running from the least to most, to maximum, to past the point they thought would never last. That's exactly it. Built to carry on.
Late clock, craving, hitting so incredibly hard. Keys in the pocket, walking out to the yard. No need to dress up, keeping everything light. Sneaking out together in the quiet of the night. Sweats on, sweats on, no makeup. You looking so fine. Steering wheel on the left, right hand holding dime. Street lights flashing through the tinted out glass. Empty open road, stepping lightly on the gas. Craving something salty, maybe something cold. Every little moment with you never getting old. Just a random Tuesday, turn into a date. Never really caring if the hour's too late. Rolling down the window, feeling out the breeze. Asking for a double with a little extra cheese. Late night run, riding through the empty zone. Best kind of feeling, setting up a happy tone. Burgers or some fries, it really doesn't matter. Laughing in the drive-thru, listening to the chatter. Taking out the wallet, paying for the meal. Loving every second of the happiness I feel. Pull up to the window, grab a paper sack. Smelling like a heaven, bringing it right back. Parking by the river, eating in the sea. Spilling out the soda, but the moment is so sweet. You got a little ketchup right up on your lip. Wiping it away with a gentle little tip. We don't need a fancy restaurant to dine. Everything is perfect when your fingers intertwine. Just the heavy bass kicking softly from the door. I don't think I'll ever need a single second more. Late night run, riding through the empty zone. Best kind of feeling, setting up a happy tone. Burgers or some fries, it really doesn't matter. Laughing in the drive-thru, listening to the chatter. Taking out the wallet, paying for the meal. Loving every second of the happiness I feel. Wiping the napkins, motor is purring. Let's head back to bed. Sweet dreams, dreams. Standing at the edge of everything I built alone. Every empty corridor became the only home I've ever needed. Pressure was the architect. Every broken angle was the thing I'd resurrect. Moved through every season with the vision locked in tight. Every darkest passage had a different kind of light. Underneath the surface, underneath the frame, everything I lost out here was never really mine to claim. Ran the calculations in the silence of the night. Every compound layer brought me closer to the right version of the outcome, version of the end. Every wall I hit became the thing I'd have to bend. Falling through the frequencies, still finding ground. Every synth core rising, that's the only sound that keeps me moving forward through the static and the noise. Everything I built was built on more than just a choice. Higher than the ceiling, they constructed for my name. Every future version of myself will ride the same way through the difficult sounds like when the future finds its groove. Yeah, carried every lesson like a frequency inside. Every low and moment was the thing that amplified the signal, the direction, the complete design. Every broken chapter was a blueprint for the climb. Nothing about the process ever looked away. It fell from the inside every single day. Was a construction of the version standing here. Every distant outcome suddenly feels near. Synth chords rising underneath the weight I hold. Every warm frequency cuts through the cold. Built the whole architecture on a feeling first. Every satisfied arrival started at the worst. Frequency that held me back. Every synth chord cutting through the darkest track I ever walked, and still the signal holds. Every future baseline carries what unfolds. From patience, from the compound, from the deep. Every wakeful hour was the death of comfortable sleep, and worth it. Every single constructed cost. Everything I gained was shaped by what I lost. Falling through the frequencies, still finding ground. Every synth chord rising, it's the only sound that keeps me moving forward through the static and the noise. Everything I built was built on more than just a choice. Higher than the ceiling, it constructed for my name. Every future version of myself will ride the same way. Through the difficult, through the storm. Everything I am right now is shaped by every form of pressure. Every loss, every cold remove. This is what it sounds like when the future finds its groove. Too quiet in here. Something about the sheets. Yeah, they reply, I seen that. Don't act like you ain't read. You move careful with your words, but your silence said it instead. I don't match your tone. Yeah, I caught that glitch. Every time I get close, you adjust just a bit. You don't run, you start. That's a different kind of play. Keep me right at the edge, never letting me stay. Don't pause now, I'm locked in. Don't fake what you boxed in. We both know where this drops in. Just don't kill the moment. Keep it right there. Don't move too fast. We don't need to make it last. No deep talk, no overthinking. Just let it happen while we breathe and stay in line. Across this slow. You don't say it, but it shows. No rewind, no control. Just ride it till it overflows. Your reflection in the glass, don't look how you pretend. You play cool for the moment, but you break at the end. Hands almost but not quite. Yeah, that tension loud. We don't say what we mean, but it's clear right now. Every second stressed in like it might collapse, but we both leaning in, we ain't pulling back. Don't freeze up, just hold it. Don't think, just control it. We both on it, don't fold it. Just keep it in motion. Keep it right there. Don't move too fast. We don't need to make it last. No deep talk, no overthinking. Just let it happen while we breathe and stay in line. Across this slow. You don't say it, but it shows. No rewind, no control. Just ride it till it overflows. Half step, then a full slide. We move, just vibing, no in, no defining. Just now aligning.
Just aligning. Just aligning.
Hold still, don't speed, just feel, no space, no air, just right there, keep it right there, don't slow it down. We already lost the ground, no clean eyes, no perfect view.